Coming up on Look Today, well, we've got an update on the renovations at the Queensbury Hotel in Glens Falls. And we have more on that fire incident that damaged a Glens Falls apartment building. Got those details. And got some details on the Adirondack Nationals car show and tourism in Lake George. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Sharon Byrne. She's the Director of Operations for the Saratoga Independent School, and we're joined by Matt Bewley. He's the Executive Chef of the Healthy Living Market in Wilton, and they're here to talk about healthy food lunch programs at the school. I also sit down with Paige Durner. She's a Marketing Manager for the Adirondack Museum. She's here to talk about an exciting event that's happening this weekend. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, we've got an update on the renovations at the Queensbury Hotel in Glens Falls. Two local development agencies are urging the Glens Falls City Council to support an application for a grant. Now, the grant would provide the Queensbury Hotel up to $500,000 for upgrades at the hotel. We spoke to Tyler Herrick. He's a general manager at the hotel.
So what we feel is that downtown Glens Falls needs an event space that can accommodate 400 to 500 people all in once, or one setting. You know, we have our existing ballroom, which has all the class and the character and the culture from the 1920s. We have the Adirondack room that was put on in an expansion effort by the previous ownership in the early 1980s. And right now that new expansion space holds about 160 to 170. But there's a lot of business and a lot of events that go elsewhere that we think that we could attract right here downtown. We have the parking, we have all the catering that goes with it, and if we could create a facility that could keep those events downtown, we think it would be best for everybody.
The Glens Falls Industrial Development Agency and the Glens Falls Local Development Corporation have voted. They're urging the City Council to support this grant. Now, a decision will be made on September 27. Well, we also spoke to Tyler about the revitalization in Glens Falls.
Basically, we're very honored that Ed Bartholomew and the City Council have supported our application for the Restore New York Downtown Grant. It's something that they worked on without kind of us knowing. But, you know, what we look to do with that is to kind of expand our ballroom and all of our meeting and conference facilities, so therefore we can bring more business, more events to the downtown Glens Falls area.
Now, it's important to note that the grant we're talking about here is separate from the recent $10 million revitalization grant that was awarded to the city. In other news, well, we got an update on the recent Glens Falls apartment building fire. The cause of the fire has been determined as accidental. The apartment building on East Notre Dame Street in Glens Falls suffered from extensive smoke and fire damage, with its third floor and roof completely gone. Well, the start of the fire was traced to a utility shaft that was in the center of the three-story building, and it ran from the basement to the roof. Well, currently officials are saying it was an electrical malfunction in that shaft. All right, switching from news to weather, today saw a beautiful day, cooler temperatures, and they decreased to the 60s. I wonder we will say that in February. Let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, the Adirondack Nationals car show in Lake George saw an impressive gathering of hot rod classic cars. This year, there are around 1,500 registered cars. Now, that's slightly more than last year's attendance. Most, if not all, hotels in Lake George were full, and many restaurants reported a very successful week. Well, we spoke to Mike Consuelo. He's the Executive Director of the Lake George Chamber of Commerce.
I was surprised to see some of the cars themselves, which were absolutely beautiful, all positioned down at the Charles R. Wood Festival Commons area, and walking down there and seeing all these cars was really, really nice to see. And what I was surprised to see was a lot of them were for sale, and I didn't really know that there was a lot of buying and selling of cars, but I think that's part of the car show circuit, so to speak.
The show is amazing. All right, overall, the summer season was successful for Lake George. And now that the summer has ended, there are still upcoming events between the fall and the winter. So we spoke to Mike about this.
It was a very, very good weekend, and it's not ending. We had a wonderful summer, and now we're getting into a very busy fall time. Next week is the Jazz Festival, which has become very, very popular, and that's going to take place in Shepherd Park. And then we have the Adirondack Balloon Festival, which is going to continue to draw folks, and a few other festivals that are booked in October.
Let's face it, we live in an amazing part of the country. Up next, I sit down with Sharon Byrne. She's the Director of Operations for the Saratoga Independent School. And we're joined by Matt Bewley. He's the Executive Chef of the Healthy Living Market in Wilton. And they're here to talk about the Healthy Food Lunch program that's implemented at the school. Plus, I also sit down with Paige Derner. She's a marketing manager for the Adirondack Museum. She's here to talk about an exciting event that's happening this coming weekend. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts for tonight. First one has to go to Tyler Herrick and Zach Moore. These two guys are behind, with Zach's dad, Ed, are behind the renovations at the Queensbury Hotel. And we were up there, and they're pulling up the carpeting, and there's beautiful old terrazzo floors from the 20s and exposing woodworks with the word Queensbury Hotel in it. I mean, they are just doing an exceptional job at this landmark boutique hotel right in the heart of Glens Falls. Second lookout, I mentioned yesterday, we're getting some response from this. If you're a candidate or you know a candidate that's running for public office out there, please have them give us a call. We're setting up a number of interviews with candidates so you can find out more about who they are, what they stand for, and what they're going to do for our community. And last but not least, kind of a self-serving one, but here at Look TV, we've created an advertising program for fourth quarter. As you well know, if you own a business, a couple of things. Number one, TV advertising is expensive. And two, you make it or break it in fourth quarter. So we've got a wonderful 13-week program you can get on TV for a lot less than you think, and it's aimed right at Saratoga, Warren, and Washington counties. So please give us a call and I'll work with you, okay? All right, tonight on Look TV, It's Sold. That's our call-in auction program. Don't forget, you can tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.